I went back to my desk. I opened my email. I started creating a folder structure. Branch closure documentation. Inside that, I created subfolders. Performance data, client communications, internal emails, HR documents. I moved everything I'd already collected into the appropriate folders. Then I started gathering more. I pulled 5 years of quarterly performance reports, not just for my branch, for all 12 branches in the Southeast Asia region. I created a spreadsheet. Branch name, quarter, revenue, profit margin, client retention, loan defaults, employee satisfaction scores. The data was clear. My branch ranked first in profit margin for 18 consecutive quarters, first in client retention for 20 quarters, first in employee satisfaction for 12 quarters. I saved it all. I backed it up to my personal cloud storage. Then I reviewed the bank's policies. I found the employee handbook in the shared drive. 478 pages. I searched for branch closure. Section 14.7. In the event of branch closure or restructuring, affected employees will be provided with A. 60 days advance notice. B. Reassignment options based on performance and seniority. C. Severance package if reassignment is declined or unavailable. I searched for performance review. Section 8.3. Performance reviews will be conducted annually and documented in the employee's personnel file. Negative performance actions require A. Written documentation of performance issues. B. Performance improvement plan with minimum 90-day duration. C. Regular progress reviews documented in writing. I had never received a negative performance review. I pulled my personnel file from HR's system. I had read access to my own records. 5 annual reviews, all rated exceeds expectations or outstanding. Most recent review was 4 months ago. Outstanding across all categories. No performance improvement plans. No documented issues. No warnings. I took screenshots of everything. I saved them to the folder. The reassignment offer arrived 3 days later, Friday afternoon. Email from HR. Subject: Reassignment offer, branch closure. Dear Rebecca, due to the closure of the Raffles Place branch, we are pleased to offer you a reassignment to the Orchard Road branch, effective in 60 days. Position: Senior Relationship Manager. Salary: current salary, no change. Start date: June 1st, 2024. Your current client portfolio will be redistributed to other relationship managers. You will be assigned a new portfolio at the Orchard Road branch. Please confirm your acceptance of this offer by April 15th, 2024. If you decline this offer, your employment will be considered voluntarily terminated with no severance compensation. Regards, Human Resources. I read it carefully. Voluntarily terminated with no severance. I checked the employee handbook again. Section 14.7 C. Severance package if reassignment is declined or unavailable. The policy said severance should be offered if reassignment is declined. The HR email said no severance. I documented the discrepancy. Screenshot of the policy, screenshot of the email. Side-by-side comparison. I didn't respond to the email. Not yet. Monday morning, I had my regular client meetings. I said nothing about the branch closure. I continued my normal work. One of my clients asked, "Is it true your branch is closing?" There's been an announcement, yes. What happens to our relationship? I'll keep you updated as I learn more. We'd prefer to continue working with you specifically. I appreciate that. Let me see what's possible. I documented that conversation. Client preference to maintain relationship with me specifically. I had similar conversations with 6 more clients that week. All expressed preference to continue working with me. 2 said they'd consider moving their business if I wasn't their relationship manager. I documented all of it. Dates, names, direct quotes. Wednesday, I received an email from my branch manager. Rebecca, I need you to prepare handover documents for your client portfolio. Please have everything ready by April 30th. I replied, Understood. Can you confirm which relationship managers will be receiving which clients? No response. Thursday, still no response. Friday, I sent a follow-up. Following up on my question from Wednesday, I need client assignment information to prepare proper handover documentation. Monday morning, he replied, That's being determined. Just prepare comprehensive documentation on all clients. I documented the vague response, the lack of specific handover plan, the approaching deadline with no clear process. 2 weeks passed. I continued working normally. I attended meetings, I managed my clients, I prepared documentation. I said nothing about the performance data. April 10th. I noticed something in my system access. Several internal reports I normally accessed were no longer available. Financial forecasting tools, regional performance dashboards, strategic planning documents. My access level had been reduced. No notification, no explanation. I documented it. Screenshots of error messages, timestamps. April 12th. I received a calendar invitation. Portfolio transition meeting. April 18th. Attendees. My branch manager, 2 relationship managers from other branches, and me. No agenda, no context. I accepted without comment. April 15th. The deadline to accept the reassignment offer. I didn't respond. April 16th. HR sent a follow-up. Rebecca, we haven't received your response to the reassignment offer. Please confirm by end of day April 17th, or we will process your voluntary termination. I still didn't respond. I was waiting. April 17th, at 4 p.m., I sent an email. 2. Human Resources. CC, Branch Manager. Subject, reassignment offer. Request for clarification. I am reviewing the reassignment offer dated April 12th. I have some questions that need clarification before I can respond. The offer states that declining reassignment results in voluntary termination with no severance. However, Employee Handbook Section 14.7c states that severance should be provided if reassignment is declined. Please clarify which applies. The offer requires me to accept reassignment with no information about the client portfolio I would be managing. Please provide details about the portfolio, client types, and asset levels. My current clients have expressed preference to continue working with me specifically. Has the bank considered allowing me to maintain these relationships at the new location? My system access to several tools was reduced on April 10th without notification. Please explain why and whether this relates to the reassignment. I am willing to discuss these matters to reach a mutually acceptable solution. Regards, Rebecca Chen. I sent it. Then I forwarded a copy to my personal email. Then I waited. April 18th, the portfolio transition meeting. I joined the conference room. My branch manager was there, 2 other relationship managers I didn't know well, and someone from HR. Not the usual person, someone senior. My branch manager started. Rebecca, thanks for joining. We wanted to discuss the transition of your client portfolio. I waited. We've decided to split your portfolio between Stephen and Michelle here. Stephen will take the manufacturing and logistics clients. Michelle will take the financial services clients. Stephen and Michelle nodded. They looked uncomfortable. We'll need you to spend the next 2 weeks doing knowledge transfer, daily meetings with Stephen and Michelle, full documentation of all client relationships, preferences, history. Have the clients been notified? I asked. We'll handle client communication. When? That's being determined. Several of my clients have expressed preference to continue working with me. Has that been considered? He shifted in his seat. Client assignments are at the bank's discretion. The HR person spoke for the first time. Rebecca, we received your email yesterday. I'm here to address those questions. Thank you. Regarding severance, the policy applies when reassignment is unavailable. In your case, we've offered you a comparable position. If you decline it, that's a voluntary decision on your part. The policy says declined or unavailable. It includes both scenarios. Our interpretation is that severance applies only when we cannot offer reassignment. Can I have that interpretation in writing? She paused. I'll follow up with you separately. Regarding your questions about the new portfolio, we'll provide that information once you accept the offer. I need that information to make an informed decision about the offer. The offer is for a senior relationship manager position. The specific portfolio will be assigned based on business needs at the time you start. And my current client's preferences? As your manager stated, client assignments are at the bank's discretion. We appreciate client feedback, but we assign based on overall business strategy. And my system access? That was a routine adjustment based on your upcoming transition. You don't need access to regional planning tools if you're transitioning out of this branch. I didn't argue. I just said, I'd like all of this in writing. We'll send a formal response to your email. The meeting ended. I went back to my desk. I documented everything. The meeting, the responses, the refusal to provide information, the interpretation of policy that contradicted the written language. April 19th, I received the formal HR response. It repeated what was said in the meeting. No new information, no policy clarification, just the same interpretations. I documented it. Then I did something I hadn't done yet. I filed a formal complaint with HR. Not about the branch closure, not about the reassignment, about the retaliation. I attached my documentation, the performance data showing my branch was the highest performing, my personnel file showing perfect reviews, the policy language about severance, the email showing contradictory interpretation, the log of reduced system access. I cited Employee Handbook Section 19, Retaliation Policy. The bank prohibits retaliation against employees who raise concerns about business practices or performance issues. Retaliation includes, but is not limited to, negative performance reviews, system access restrictions, unfavorable job assignments, or termination. I submitted it through the formal HR complaint portal. The system generated a case number, HR 2024-00847. I received an automated response. Your complaint has been received and will be reviewed within 10 business days. I forwarded the confirmation to my personal email. Then I continued working. Client meetings, documentation, knowledge transfer sessions with Stephen and Michelle. I said nothing to them about the complaint. I stayed professional. I answered their questions. I provided thorough handover notes. 10 business days passed. May 6th. No response from HR about the complaint. I sent a follow-up inquiry. Case HR 2024-00847. Please advise on status. May 7th. I received a response. Your complaint is under review by senior HR management. Due to the complexity of the issues raised, we need additional time. We will respond by May 20th. I documented the delay. Another 13 days. May 20th arrived. No response. May 21st, I sent another follow-up. May 22nd, I received a response. We have completed our initial review. We need to schedule a meeting with you to discuss the findings. Please confirm your availability for May 28th at 2 p.m. I confirmed. May 28th, I joined the video call. 2 people from HR, both senior level. Director of HR for Southeast Asia, and the Chief Compliance Officer for the region. The compliance officer spoke first. Rebecca, thank you for joining. We've reviewed your complaint thoroughly. We've also conducted some additional investigation. I waited. We found that your concerns about policy interpretation and procedure have merit. The reassignment offer should have included more detailed information. The severance policy language is ambiguous and should be clarified. What does that mean for my situation? We're revising the offer. We'll provide you with specific portfolio details for the Orchard Road position, and we'll clarify that if you decline, you'll receive severance in accordance with your years of service. How much severance? 6 months base salary. Standard for your level and tenure. I calculated quickly. That was approximately $120,000. When will I receive the revised offer? By end of this week. What about the retaliation concerns? The compliance officer glanced at the HR director. We're still reviewing those aspects. We need to conduct additional interviews with your branch manager and others involved in the closure decision. What's the timeline for that review? We're required to complete it within 60 days of the complaint filing. You filed on April 19th, so by June 18th. What happens if you find evidence of retaliation? That would be a serious policy violation. Potential consequences include corrective action for the individuals involved, revision of the branch closure decision, or other remedies as appropriate, including reversal of the branch closure. That would be one possible remedy, yes, but that decision would be made at a higher level than HR. What level? Regional management. Potentially global executive committee, depending on the findings. I noted that. Regional management. Global executive committee. Thank you for the update. The call ended. I documented everything. Then I researched the bank's organizational structure. Regional management reported to the Asia-Pacific president, who reported to the global CEO, who reported to the board of directors. The board of directors had 11 members. I looked up their names, their backgrounds, their shareholdings. 3 of them were independent directors, not bank executives, outside board members. One of them had a public email address listed on the bank's investor relations page for shareholder communications. I drafted an email. Not to send yet, just to prepare. Subject: shareholder concern, branch closure, and retaliation. I outlined the situation: the closure of the highest performing branch, the policy violations, the retaliation complaint, the ongoing investigation. I didn't send it. I just saved it as a draft. June 1st arrived, the date I was supposed to start at the Orchard Road branch if I'd accepted. I was still at Raffles Place, still working. The branch hadn't closed yet. The date had been pushed back to June 30th. June 5th, I received the revised reassignment offer, as promised. It included specific portfolio details: 28 clients, total assets of $93 million. Significant step down from my current portfolio. And a separate document. Severance offer. 6 months base salary if I declined reassignment. I had until June 12th to respond. I still didn't respond. I was waiting for the retaliation investigation. June 15th, I received an email from the Chief Compliance Officer. Rebecca, we've completed the investigation into your retaliation complaint. We need to schedule a meeting to discuss the findings. June 20th at 10 a.m. I confirmed. June 20th, I joined the call. The same 2 people from before, plus someone new, a man I didn't recognize. Rebecca, this is Martin Zhao. He's the regional president for Southeast Asia. I nodded. Hello. Martin spoke. Rebecca, I asked to join this call because the findings of the investigation have significant implications. I'll let the compliance team present their findings. Then I'll discuss next steps. The compliance officer opened a document on screen share. Our investigation reviewed documentation, emails, and conducted interviews with 12 people, including your branch manager, regional management, and peers. We found the following. 1. The decision to close the Raffles Place branch was made in January 2024, 4 months before the announcement. 2. The stated reason for closure was underperformance. However, internal documents show the branch had the highest profit margin in the region. 3. The actual reason for closure, according to meeting notes we obtained, was a desire to consolidate operations and reduce the number of senior relationship managers in Singapore. 4. Your branch manager specifically recommended your termination rather than reassignment. His stated reason was that you had questioned regional strategy decisions in previous meetings. 5. This constitutes retaliation under bank policy. Questioning business decisions in appropriate forums is protected activity. I stayed quiet. I let them continue. Our recommendation is as follows. 1. Cancel the Raffles Place branch closure. 2. Issue formal reprimand to your branch manager for policy violations. 3. Offer you continued employment at Raffles Place with no changes to your role or compensation. 4. Provide formal apology from regional management. Martin spoke. I've reviewed these recommendations. I agree with them. However, I want to discuss this directly with you before we proceed. I'm listening. The branch closure was a mistake. It was based on incomplete analysis and personal bias. I take responsibility for not catching it earlier. I want to make this right. What does that look like? We cancel the closure. You stay in your current role. Your branch manager will be reassigned to a different position. You'll report directly to regional management for the next 6 months while we restructure the Singapore operations. And if I prefer not to work under those conditions? Then we offer you the severance package, plus an enhanced transition package, 8 months salary instead of 6, and a strong reference letter. I thought about it. 8 months salary, $240,000. Clean exit, strong reference. Or stay in a situation where my manager would be removed, but I'd be working directly for the people who'd approved his decision in the first place. I'd like to see both offers in writing before I decide. Of course, we'll send them both by tomorrow. The call ended. I sat at my desk for a long time, thinking about what I actually wanted. Not vindication, not an apology, Not even justice, really. I wanted to be done. I wanted to be out. With enough money to take my time finding the right next position. June 21st, both offers arrived, as promised. Offer 1. Stay. Stay, same role, same comp. New manager. Direct regional reporting. Offer 2. Leave. 8 months severance. Accrued vacation. Strong reference. Confidentiality agreement about the investigation findings. I reviewed the confidentiality terms. Standard mutual non-disparagement. Can't discuss investigation details publicly. Can share factual employment information with future employers. I spent the weekend thinking, making spreadsheets, calculating options. Monday, June 24th, I made my decision. I sent my response. I accept offer 2. Please proceed with the severance package and departure arrangements. HR replied within an hour. Understood. We'll prepare the final paperwork. Last day will be July 15th to allow for client transition. My branch manager, soon to be former branch manager, sent a meeting request. Quick check-in. I declined it. I had nothing to say to him. The next 3 weeks passed quickly. I did proper handovers. I said goodbye to clients. I wrapped up projects. Several clients asked where I was going. I said I was taking some time off before my next role. 3 of them asked me to stay in touch, said they'd like to work with me again if I ended up at another bank. I documented those conversations for future reference. July 15th arrived, my last day. I turned in my laptop and access cards. I signed the final paperwork. The severance payment appeared in my account that afternoon, 240,000 Singapore dollars. I transferred it to savings. I updated my resume. I activated my LinkedIn. Within a week, I had 3 inquiries from recruiters, positions at other banks, similar level, similar compensation. I took meetings with all 3. I was polite, professional. I didn't badmouth the previous bank. I just explained I was looking for the right cultural fit. One of them made an offer. Larger bank, better portfolio, 20% higher base salary. I accepted. I started 6 weeks later. New office, new team, new manager who reviewed policies clearly and documented decisions properly. 3 months into the new role, I got a LinkedIn message from one of my former clients. Rebecca, I heard you moved to new bank. I wanted to let you know we're considering moving our business there to work with you again. Can we set up a meeting? I replied, of course. I'd be happy to discuss how we can support your needs. We met the following week. They transferred their portfolio, $38 million in assets. Then another former client reached out. Same conversation. Same result. Within 6 months, I'd brought over 4 former clients, combined assets of $112 million. My new bank was thrilled. My manager called it exceptional business development. I just called it documentation. I'd maintained relationships. I'd delivered results. I'd proven my value. A year after leaving, I heard through industry contacts that the Raffles Place branch had closed anyway. Different stated reason. Lease expiration. But the result was the same. My former branch manager had been reassigned to a back office role. No client contact. No team management. The regional president who'd offered me the apology had moved to a different region. Lateral transfer, not a promotion. I didn't follow up. I didn't gloat. I just noted it and moved on. Because the revenge wasn't dramatic. It wasn't public. It wasn't even really about them. It was about documentation, about policy, about knowing my rights and using them. They closed my branch to get rid of me. I made them pay me to leave. Then I took their clients with me.